different functions of the PR practitioner, or how PR is normally the usage of PR in an organization. So the following are the functions which the PR practitioners are able to utilize to make sure that at least the organization works more effectively. So PR is normally used especially to make sure that there is a good relationship between the employees with the employees and also with employers. So actually, relationship is very crucial when we're talking about having PR in our employees. And why is it even PR important when we are talking about how it even benefits the employees and the employers? Remember that employees play a very critical role in an organization. They are the ones who make an organization either be marketable, portray a good image to the people, okay? So, and also for profitability to be able to be there in an organization, then employees also need to be treated well. Just give yourself a scenario whereby you are working in an organization whereby nobody cares about your welfare. Nobody, when you walk into the organization in the morning, nobody even wants to greet you. Nobody tells you what is supposed to be done on that very day. Nobody gives you an update. Nobody gives you an update of what is happening, okay? And also when you are sick, the organization is not even willing to be able to assist you with medical finances, for instance. And no pay rise. You're working in an organization for 2 or 3 years, no pay rise, and of course there's no even job security. You don't even feel the satisfaction of working in such an organization. So basically, these are some of the things that the organization or the employer need to meet, but they do that through the PR, okay? So the PR will always advise the management on some of the things that they should do to be able to lift the spirits of the employees, okay? So maybe they can always suggest for team building, especially maybe if you have been overworked and at least you need a bit of bonding with other employees. So they will always come up with good ideas so that the management can try to adopt to them and make sure that at least you feel appreciated in your workplace. And also in terms of medical, you get the medical insurances. And at least at the end of the year, you get bonuses for your job. At least they appreciate that at the end of the day, you are playing a very critical role and they need to appreciate you, okay? So the PR comes in handy to ensure that at least the employees feel appreciated and they are working to achieve the objective of the organization. So another objective, another function that we might look at is about the community relation, especially the PR is normally used in terms of community relation. When we are talking about community, this is the surrounding, okay, the surrounding of the organization where the organization is even situated. So let us give ourselves like an example whereby you find out that you want to create a good image, okay? You want to create a good image, especially you as a company, and you really want to feel accepted by the community. Of course, most of the companies, whenever they want to go to build or to expand into a certain region, then definitely they need to do also a few background about the community where they are going to put their structure at, okay? And that community, of course, you need also to create a good relationship with it. So there is no way that you can be able to just come up with a company and you do not even mind about the people who are near it. And that's why most of the companies, they try creating a good reputation with the people from certain community by, for example, making sure that they are creating jobs. For instance, they're creating jobs for the people who are within the area. So you can just try to just, imagine about the companies which are near you, okay? And you notice that most of the companies that are situated near you, most of them, the employers are more, the employees are more from the same region, okay? A larger part of the employees always come from that region. Like, for example, let's just say maybe there is a chicken factory, okay? So the people who are going to be employed there, either maybe you want people who are going to be casual laborers or people who are going to work there for a short, maybe in a contract, then you will try at least taking much more people, maybe the youth from the community. Many of them you're going to take them from there. So Victor, actually your mic is on. So, and that's why you will also think of whenever there is a company there, for it even to get a go ahead, even from, let's say, from the officers who normally come inspect there, they also make sure that at least you have tried to comply with some of the policies whereby you try to involve the community, okay? You make sure that the youths from the area at least are, given jobs. So you don't just come up with a company and you take maybe people from maybe wherever you are coming from and put them in the company without thinking about the good relation that you are going to create with the community. And the community, of course, plays a critical part. They are the people who can make you stay there or not. So I remember there is a time, I don't know, is it Nakuru? And then there was a dog factory by the Chinese. Who remembers it? Is it a dog factory or donkey? Nakuru or Naivasha? Donkey. It was a donkey slaughterhouse. Something. Donkey slaughterhouse or a dog slaughterhouse. So actually, such companies, if you want to come up maybe with such a company, you need to create a good reputation with the communities, because the communities had to react back. If you are aware of it, the communities had to react back. They were like, they don't want that company to be there. I think it was the Chinese people who had created that company. They had built that company. So the community was against it totally. So remember, you cannot be in business if the community are not on your side. They will always create an objection. Okay? So unless you come up with a good PR, even though that you won't be able, maybe, for example, maybe apart from even creating employment to them, you also need to create a few of the facilities for them. Like, for example, you come up with maybe a social hall. Maybe you create a social hall, like a public facility whereby even the youths can be able to do their social activities, or maybe you can build or contribute to the construction of a school, or you try being in good books with them. Okay, show them that you care about them. Show them that you are just there not only for the business purpose, but also to empower them. Okay, so there is no way that you can be able to do that if you do not include PR in it. So PR plays a major role, okay, to ensure that the community relationship is good with the company. So you can come up with very many examples, and these examples, of course, you can be able to relate with them with whatever that you can see within the community. Okay, so like for example, I think which other company? So you can come up with, actually, you can contribute to this. Maybe give me some examples that you have seen whereby the company is trying to involve the community. Give me examples. Your mics are on. Examples whereby you see that a certain company is trying to reach out to the community. Victor? Any company?
I don't have any in mind.
There's no way you can say that you do not have any in mind. Just think, not only about, think on of a way maybe a company is trying to reach out to the community in terms of maybe building health facilities, schools, maybe sponsoring, okay, maybe through sports. So there are so many companies which are doing that.
Safaricom Foundation.
Yes. A good example actually is Safaricom. So what about it, Victor? What about Safaricom? What is it doing?
It's sponsoring children to school. Building houses for the Wananchi. And businesses also.
Yes, supporting small businesses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Safaricom is trying to reach out to the community. So Joyce, give me the example of Safaricom.
Yeah, okay. A company can decide to educate the community basically on what they are dealing with. For example, if it is a company dealing with as in about anything about HIV and AIDS, so they decide to take people from the community and educate them more about HIV and AIDS.
Okay, do you have a company?
Do you have a company? No, I don't have any example, but
there's so many.
yeah. There's so many. Okay, like Red Cross. Red Cross can get some people from the company, then they try to educate them about HIV and AIDS.
Okay, that is good. Any other example? Any other example? Come up with so many examples so that it helps you also to try, reasoning out of the box.
Okay, I have a question.
So who is asking the question? Joy? Anne, okay.
No, yeah, Equity, is it a company or an organization?
Which one?
Equity.
It can either be an organization, a company, it doesn't matter. Okay?
Oh, yes, like Equity. I think it sponsors orphans to school.
Okay, like the wings to fly, right?
Yeah, and Safaricom, sometimes it gives out wheelchairs to, yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
That is correct, Anne. Jacqueline?
I was thinking about the same, the equity.
Okay, how equity is trying to
Yeah,
reach
what
out to
Carol
the
just
community,
said.
right?
Yeah, how it is sponsoring the students, yeah, in the education from high schools to university.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Anthony?
I might think a company like the Del Monte company.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly it helps the youth with mostly about the sports
Mm-hmm.
and also building goals for the community.
Okay. So Del Monte is also doing something. So Oscar, where have you gone to? John?
Yes.
Yes, do you have any other example?
Yes. Okay. There is a company called Sky Garden.
Uh-huh.
It also helps the society, like in charity homes,
Uh-huh.
provides for the children's foodstuffs, clothing, stuff like those.
Okay. So Jacqueline, you needed to add something?
No.
Okay, I think those are very good examples. At least you can be able to relate with, what we are talking about and the essence of PR. So, and I can see some of you have written, like Robinson, you're saying about Equity Bank offering sponsorship to students. Yes, that is very true. Sport Pesa offering sponsorship to football teams. Yes, and actually we can try to relate with what happened to Sport Pesa when, when they were out. Remember, when there was a lot of auditing and the KRA came in and, they had to get out of. Are they still in Kenya? Because the last time I remember about Sport Pesa, they are already not in Kenya, okay? They felt like, okay, they are trying as much as possible to help the community, okay? But the government does not recognize that. But the government wants, for them to be able to remit their taxes and so on. So you find that as much as SportPesa was trying to play smart with PR, we're trying to go on sponsoring young, maybe youths to be able to enter into football and also sponsoring some football clubs and so on. That was not enough, okay? So they had to get out, but I'm not sure whether they are still there. So the league performed poorly after terminating SportPesa. Oh, Waweru, John, I'm not good at sports. So maybe you just expand more. John, you can put your mic on and tell us about this point.
Okay, my point is
Uh-huh.
after they dropped out SportPesa from the league,
Uh-huh.
the sponsorship was poor again, and the government never participated again. Some players even lacked some earnings.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you see that also when maybe an organization or a company or any other institution tries to use PR, you will find that immediately they get out of the market, their presence is always going to be felt. Okay, so you will find that there is an attachment. Though everyone knows SportPesa is like a gambling game and nobody likes gambling. Okay, when we are talking about gambling, actually nobody thinks gambling to be something nice. It is something which is regarded as, it is a bad vice, okay? People sometimes you gamble everything until you end up committing suicide. But they tried changing that narrative, okay, through the use of PR, making it look something good, okay, as much as it is gambling, but they tried, putting a cream on it, trying to, ensure that they are sponsoring these teams and also, helping these the youths and so on. So the community saw a different image, okay? They saw a different image of SportPesa. They didn't continue seeing it like it is a gambling game. They just saw that this is a good company, that it is here to help and assist our youth. Okay, so that is basically the use of PR. Okay, Joy, you're also saying hosting school trips, like how Chemelil Sugar does. Yes, of course, it does that. So you'll notice that these companies try to use PR. Of course, they just don't, wake up out of the blues and they think that, at the end of the day, whenever they are going to help the community, they're also going to do what? To gain out of it. Remember, this is a two-way transaction. So there is no way we can just spend money assisting the community, but at the end of the day, maybe they are targeting at marketing. They are targeting at increasing the sales. Because if maybe you talk about SportPesa and trying to maybe promote maybe these leagues and so on. So a lot of people will just know SportPesa even from the blues, okay? So people will want even to go research about it, get to know what it is about, and maybe some of them will want even to participate in the game, okay? So you'll notice that they will keep on increasing their revenues and also maybe benefiting also from marketing. So those ones were good examples. So Esther, you are typing something, you should continue. So I want us to go maybe into media relation and how PR is used in media. Okay. So Esther, what did you want to say before I cut you short? Esther? So as Esther tries to communicate what she wants to put across, and that's why I always encourage you to be able to use the microphone, because the microphone is able to be a bit faster than typing. So I want us to talk about media relation as part of the functions that PR is used for. So you'll notice that as much as we are talking about the media, also media plays a critical role, okay? So especially in the passing of information, okay, to the publics. So the media does not actually work alone. The media, as much as you find that the media can be able to talk about maybe a certain organization, what is happening in such an organization and so on. So definitely media always gives good and bad, positive or negative messages. Okay, at the end of the day, they will either maybe talk about something negative about an organization. Remember, a media is basically, its role is basically to be able to attract more listeners, attract more viewers, attract, that's how actually media works. Okay, so if they are going to talk about something which is negative about a certain organization, everyone of course will want to hear. Okay, so if it is something positive, also it attracts also equal measure. So you have also to be careful, especially what kind of information does media relay about your organization. For example, let's just talk about peanut butter. Okay, I don't know if you are all aware about this peanut butter. So Silantoi, what were you trying to communicate across? Esther? Okay, we'll get back to her maybe later. So actually, you remember when we were talking about the peanut butter, it has actually, been facing a lot of critics over time and so on. So the peanut butter, they started saying that, okay, especially the Notice company, okay, the notice company which is producing the peanut butter and so on, they were like, okay, this company is not producing products of the required standards, okay. KEBS has also verified that the product is not of the required standards, and that about that information went out, and everyone was not even into buying the notice products. And then later on, we also heard about the media talking about aflatoxins, okay, aflatoxins, relating it to what? To notice again. So you find out that, you know, like the organization, unless they really try to use PR, okay? PR, they should use PR in relation to media, okay? They make sure that any information that the media portrays to the public is something that is not negative. Okay, so I think this one is about, you know, a business transaction. Remember that even if it is media do not even give us the gospel truth. I don't know if people take, you know, media so seriously. I don't want to really criticize it, but at the end of the day, this is business. Okay, each and every company is out there for businesses. They want to make profit and so on. So if media, if the notice company, for instance, can be able to use PR people to be able to catalyze this information that the media people are going to relay out to the public, then they turn it around to be positive. Okay? Then people are going to see a very different image. And that's why some people, when there was that information about aflatoxin, I think there was a bit of debate about it, especially when they are talking about the maize meal and the wheat flours. They were like, why should they mention some brands and not mention others? Like, for example, they were not mentioning Soko. If you really remember well, they were not mentioning about Soko brand and so on, but they were mentioning almost all the brands, okay? They were like giving a list of all the brands that are, you know, they have the content of aflatoxin. That means Soko used their PR well, okay? They used the PR well at the end of the day. Maybe they had to meet the media people and talk them out, okay? Maybe give them something. Try to create a good relationship with that media, okay? For them not to publicly relay out their brand out in a negative way to the public. So people turned out to buying so-called products more, and the other products were not doing well. And so the other companies came in again to complain that, you know, Soko also has aflatoxin. Why is it not even included in the list, and so on? So you find out that also these things are all about PR and the media, and how, you know, the two are going to benefit at the end of the day, okay? So the information that is going to be relayed out also determines with the relationship the organization has with these medias, okay? So if it is a negative information, you can pay off the media or have good working relationship with them, so that they do not publicly maybe dispose whatever is happening in your organization, or maybe try to display the good side of what is happening in your organization. Okay, so basically the relationship that is going to happen within the media and the organization that you're working with is purely catalyzed by the PR. Okay, so maybe you can even try to come up with some examples of some of the companies that you have seen that, you know, they're trying to play well with me with the media, okay? One time you hear that they are on the negative side, the next day they are on the positive side. So it keeps on changing depending on how smart they are. So which of the companies that come to your mind when you think about that are faced mostly with, you know, propagandas, especially from the media. They're always on their neck. Okay, do you have any examples? Or maybe do you have examples which are always, you know, on the positive side, especially with the media? They have never even faced a lot of critics. They have never, you know, gone on the negative side at all. Any examples?
I think maybe a person who's always on the media.
Okay.
Our Deputy President William Ruto, always on the front pages and always on the headlines despite the corona.
Okay. I think that one is going to be controversial. That is politics. That is purely politics, and I think it will create some. I don't want to contribute on that. That's purely a point, Ken. Okay. So remember, okay, when you're talking about PR and trying to be good with the media, it's not only about the companies and so on. Because I remember telling you that PR also goes on maybe with some celebrities. Okay, some politicians and all those people also use the PR. They can use it in the positive side or the negative side and so on. So that's a point from Ken and so on. So if the deputy president finds himself always on the wrong side, then his PR is not doing work, okay? Basically. So any other examples that you can come up with? Any other examples? I've already shared with you some examples about the aflatoxin scandal and the notice and the SOCO, and also how the other companies, you know, try not to, you know, feel that they are at equal competition. Any other examples? Think. Anthony?
An example of the Kerocho breweries.
Yes, what about Keroche?
By most of the time they are alleged to be told they do not pay their taxes.
They are always on the?
They're always on the, sometimes on the headlines being told they do not pay their taxes.
Yes. Okay. So Keroche is also facing a lot of media reactions. That is basically not being in a good, you know, relationship with this media. Okay. They will always find themselves on the wrong side with the government. Also, the government can also come in. Remember, at the end of the day is that also the government needs them to pay the taxes. And remember, sometimes when we are talking about the community relation, something to note is that some companies, whenever you are able to sponsor, I think that is something that some companies use not to avoid taxes, okay? So if you are able to sponsor some maybe organizations or charities and so on, sometimes some countries exempt companies, okay, from paying the taxes. Okay, that's how some companies actually escape from paying the taxes. So you find that why should Safaricom use a lot of money sponsoring? Okay, why should it use a lot of money sponsoring? For example, maybe let's say sports sponsorships and so on. Basically, it's because they know that if we contribute to charity, there is always a percentage on which they have to contribute. So if they come up even with this charity, you always think, if you're not aware about this public relation thing, then you'll always think that this company is so good, it is trying to, you know, help the community, it's trying to come up with a charity fund, or, you know, come out all with this organization, okay? So Safaricom has actually created which is it called Safaricom? Remind me the name. Remind me the name of the center that Safaricom just built. The name, how is it called? Safaricom what? And what is the name?
I don't know. Something with the Pesa Foundation.
M-Pesa what?
Pesa something.
Just a minute, a bit of this.
The M-Pesa Foundation.
Yes, M-Pesa Foundation, actually, they just didn't come up with the M-Pesa Foundation just because they care about the community. I'm sorry to say, but it is more of PR, and also it is about saving themselves from, from paying taxes. Okay. So if they come up with this foundation, then they are actually. Joyce, please mute your mic unless you want to.
No, I don't need to ask anything, but I had a point.
Yes.
Okay, can we talk about the COVID-19? Since we heard about the COVID-19, every day we get to hear negative info about the pandemic. E.g., we hear that the government is trying to play with our minds in order to get some cash from outside. Yeah.
Yeah, that can be true. Because if you really study PR well, then you'll be able to notice that at the end of the day, people do things also to benefit. Okay. Remember, just like lawyers, there is no way that you can say that a lawyer is corrupt. Are you together? This is your job. Okay. It's either you will be able to defend the criminals whether they are wrong. Okay. And if someone has killed, you know that this is a murderer. You'll always defend them as saints. And you have no weighing scale to be able to say that this is a corrupt lawyer, or they're not even corrupt, or they will go to heaven, or they will go to hell. So you have no right to do that, because that is their profession. Okay. At the end of the day, they need to provide for the family. They need to pay their rents. They need to pay their arrears and so on. So basically, that is their job. Okay. So if PR is going to advise you to do something, of course, there are people, of course, that they are always on the negative side. Okay. But you find that they always come out clean. Okay. And that's why you see even politicians, how they play these games out there, and they end up, cleaning themselves, and people even end up voting for them. You already know who they are, and you know that they haven't done anything good, but the PR people will always come out, and advise them, change your perception, and you'll end up, seeing a different image out of them. So when you're talking about even the government trying to play smart and trying to attract more funds, then it might be PR. Okay. So let us not overrule that they are trying to use PR, and that's why I think there was also that propaganda before about the first lady who was COVID free and so on. People were like, this is PR. They are trying to show how the medical sector is really working hard. Okay, changing the perception of the whole country about the medic doing well and so on. So they need a lot of funding to be able to counteract this illness. So a lot of PR can be used. Okay, so let us not overrule that, because basically, if you do not use PR, remember, at the end of the day, this is a business. Okay, at the end of the day, this is an image of a country. This is an image of, there are some things that you might end up losing. Okay. So you always have to use PR on the right way. So you won't say that the PR people are not good, when maybe they change the perception of the others, but at the end of the day, that is a profession. Okay, so just put yourself in an I think everyone uses PR. Let us not lie to ourselves. Most of the time we use even PR in our own lives. Okay, so you want to change a perception about yourself, or you want to change a perception about your family or your friends, or any close member. There's a way that we have always used PR also to be able to dodge around and come out clean. Okay, so when you, like, for example, when Anne does not meet the deadline for the assignment, all of you here have tried using PR here. Don't lie to me. Okay, so like Anne today was like, Mwalimu, I really wanted to do the work, but my phone has been having problems. That is basically PR. Okay, trying to create a clean image about yourself, and you really know that you didn't do the work. You are just trying to make sure that at least I don't take you on the negative side, someone who does not comply with deadlines. So that is PR, basically what you are doing. So you might be having a lot of examples, and basically do not criticize someone who tries to put out their image well. So at the end of the day, it is like, how well can you be able to communicate your message out, and also try to defend your organization or your country for it to achieve its own objectives. So we can maybe talk about another function, maybe for example, crisis management. So when you're talking about crisis management, of course, I think we have already talked about it, especially when is it Joyce who was telling us about COVID-19 and so on? Joyce, are you the one? Or Jacqueline? Is it Joyce or Jacqueline who was telling us about?
It is me. It is
Oh
Joyce.
yes. So basically, when you're talking about, okay, it's fine. Okay, it's fine. So when you're talking about crisis management, PR being used to be able to counteract the crisis that is happening, of course, PR comes there. Okay, so the COVID-19 falls under it. So if, for example, the government is facing the COVID-19 and also tries to use PR, we can say that it is on the wrong side. So it's about how you are going to be able to give out the information, in which way that people are going to accept it, whether it is the correct information or the wrong information. And I've had a lot of people asking about we always hear the numbers are rising up. Okay, there are almost 200 or 100 people being confirmed to having COVID-19, but some people are like, but I've never even seen that person. Okay, some people are like, who are those people? Yeah. So anyone who knows anyone here who has COVID-19, or you are also in the same dilemma? Anyone is a question? Joy?
My aunt and uncle.
What?
My aunt and uncle.
Your aunt and uncle. Okay. We are so sorry about that. Okay. So at least now you have had. Okay. Yes. At least now you've had, at least there's someone who has maybe their relatives having that, but we are praying that they get to recover from that. So some people feel that they won't believe that there is COVID-19, and I think most of us maybe fall into that bracket, whereby you feel that, okay, there is a crisis, but still, why is the media or rather why is the ministry trying to make this thing look out of so big, and maybe you have not even seen anyone who is suffering from that, unless you have maybe people who have suffered from that. That's when you will see that this thing is a true thing. this thing is really happening. But unless that you feel that you see someone suffering from it, then there are people who really won't believe that thing actually exists. So crisis management, by the use of PR, actually you can be able to turn around situations, okay? So whenever the ministry keeps on reassuring us that they are on control of it, and the government is also trying to put all the necessary measures, that is actually PR, okay? To be able to create an assurance that this crisis is going to be managed at the end of the day. Are we together? So you cannot be able to say that you can always use PR on the right side to be able also to create calm to the people. Some people just need that assurance to be able to feel safe. Otherwise, some people can even collapse whenever they see how bad the situation is. So it's better that you try using PR to be able to create reassurance of how the situation is going to be maintained. So we can also use PR, of course, in special events. So especially these events maybe can be especially maybe celebrations, seminars, maybe conferences, and so on. So wherever you find that an organization can be able to create these events, maybe to be able to make something public out there. For example, if they want to introduce a new product, what they will do. Like, do you have any examples of maybe seminars or conferences or exhibitions or celebrations that companies normally have? Some common examples. Okay, you can think about the big companies and or which kind of celebrations that they normally, come up with. Any? Yes, Joy?
Safaricom.
Safaricom, which kind of celebration or something that they have organized?
They always have the jazz festivals.
Which one? Joy, which one?
Jazz festivals.
You are breaking, actually. It's not that I'm really not getting it.
I'm saying they always have the jazz festivals.
Yes, the jazz festivals. Yes, true. They normally have these special events, of course. It can be annually, semi-annually. So it depends, okay? So you'll notice that these events, they just don't come up with these events just out of the blue. But these events, mainly, they might be having these events just for them to be able to introduce something, okay? They might just maybe, for example, invite a very prominent person, a celebrity, someone that can be able to, make that podium or that, event look so glamorous, okay? And an event that will be able to attract even, many people to be able to even sign up. Yeah. So, for example, if it is jazz events and so on. So, what they will. Ken, you wanted to add something?
I'm sorry. I just remembered type of two companies that have been on the media for at least 2 years now.
Uh-huh.
The Mumia's Sugar has been hit by corruption and it has been hit hard.
Okay.
And they have been on the media.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. Mia Sugar and the corruption thing and the scandals on, even is it Governor Kidero, the former governor, was also in the mix and so on. So
He was the managing director.
Yes, he was the managing director. So you think that this thing always come up when maybe they are about to, to make good progressions and so on, or maybe to even deter them from, getting their political seats. So that is also okay, whereby the media, if it is not utilized well, then definitely the information might even be they can actually finish your career totally if you're not even careful with the media. They have already managed to destroy careers of so many people, of prominent people. So and that's why if you do not realize the reason of PR being there for you, then you might actually be someone who on the low side. So yes, and when you're talking about NYS scandals, so yes, it is true also NYS, and whenever they're talking about Waiguru, and also you find that even right now also that impeachment of Waiguru, and they will always come up with they will always bring out this scandal of NYS and relate it to her. And actually it is, they really do well also bringing her down, okay? Whenever she tries, pulling up and so on, they will always push her back because of the NYS scandal and so on. And also, yes, Joy talking about Kim Warrell dam, that's true. A lot of politicians have, gotten in the mix, and their political life is always on the line. And remember, whenever you are mentioned into these scandals, they always follow you, okay? So even if there's a prominent job that you want to apply for and there's a vetting, they will always, come back for you, okay? They will always keep on mentioning, why were you involved here? They bring out all your dirty display or your dirty linen for you not to be able to reach to the very top, okay? So, and that is all about the media relation. And also I think this the special event, of course, we have talked about the jazz by the Safaricom, whereby they try to maybe introduce a specific product into the market by making sure at least they have the right people, okay? So remember, number one, even if Safaricom, if you really want to know how PR plays around, especially with the Safaricom and the jazz. So remember, jazz people, okay? So anyone here who loves jazz, let me just ask, anyone here who does not like jazz, who does not even understand how that music can goes on, okay? Anyone who is into jazz? I think I should be asking that. Anyone who is into jazz?
Yes.
And really enjoys jazz? You can even pay any amount of money to enter into a jazz festival. So anyone? Waweru?
Yes.
You like jazz, yeah?
Yes, I love.
Yeah, okay, you love jazz. Anyone else apart from John? Anyone else? Okay, it's only John here in our class who likes. So Joy is saying that jazz is a lullaby, okay? So actually, there are people who enjoy jazz. Joy, it's not only for you to be able to sleep, but you really enjoy it. You even make good decisions whenever you hear jazz music. So it depends. Yeah? So in a nutshell, what I want to say is that this, for even Safaricom to think about jazz, of course, jazz, they have already thought of the kind of audience they want. Okay, number one, you have already thought of the audience. Just for hotel lobbies and lifts. Okay, so you guys are being drama queens. So when I'm talking about jazz and them trying to have the PR, then it means that they have already thought about the audience. Of course, they want to have, and of course, you'll notice that jazz it's not to attract the young people. Okay. And that's why you notice that it's only John who is into jazz here, okay? So jazz is for the older generation, okay? Doesn't mean that necessarily the old generation, even if you are the young person who really likes jazz, I think there is something deeper that you find in it. But most of the time, generally, is because it is for the older people, and it is related to sophistication, okay? They are a bit of class. Not everyone can be able to enjoy jazz. people with class. Okay, so if you are you want people of class, and you want people who are sophisticated people, and of course these are people with money. Okay, so if they are trying to have this event, then they already know that people who are going to come here are people with the money. They are the corporate people, and yeah, Joy, you're saying that mostly the millionaires, it's not that they lack a life, but it is something that I think there's a relationship between wealth and jazz, and it is a classical kind of music. So you find out that the people who are going to be there, and of course you already have the agenda, you have the objective on which kind of message that you're going to pass there. So you really try, having like a short listing. Okay, you make sure that if it is jazz, then you are attracting the right kind of people. They are corporate people, they are people with money, they are people who can even promote your products. They will buy maybe whatever that you are going to be able to have there. So you'll notice that if you're going to introduce maybe a very nice product, then those people are going to take it so seriously in such an event, and maybe they will be able even to really buy it or market it for you and so on. And whenever this event is captured, maybe through the media and so on, then people will be able to see the positive, the classic side, which they even missed, the one that they never even got to go there, and they will always want to go there again. Maybe these events are arranged. So as you're talking about the Safaricom Sevens, yes, it is also an event which Safaricom tries to organize also. Of course, this is rugby, tries to promote rugby and so on. So basically, and actually, if it is Safaricom Sevens, you'll notice that they always want to promote. It's not only that they arrange these events just for a show, but you'll find there is either they are promoting the credit cards, they are promoting their t-shirts, they are promoting something. They will always promote what? Their brand. Okay. So Joy, when you're talking about Coca-Cola, which event has Coca-Cola? Just give us a whole description with the name also of the event that it has organized. So you can be able to see that PR goes a long way. So they also have an underlying intention. Okay, it's not always that they just give without receiving. Okay, there should be a two-way in which they try making it look okay, good. So we can talk about fundraising. Fundraising is very common. So this is whereby, of course, where you raise money maybe for development, especially into a community, whereby you put some money to be able to develop, maybe if it is a health facility, if it is a school, it is maybe it is, let's say, like is it wamama and what, chama ya wamama ma chama ya vijana or something, is it called there's a name that they give it, which politician they usually use it most
Women
of the time.
trust.
Yes, there's women trust, and there's also another one. How do it call it for, especially for the women? They really manipulate the women. Some money that they put aside, and they try assisting the women, I think, and the youth, which especially the politicians are very good at, at that. Which actually the wife to Ruto normally does. And I think also Babu Wino has also done it. Okay. I've actually forgotten the name, but there is kind of like a fundraising, especially just for them to be able to contribute for the women of that area, for them to be able maybe to be able to maybe add to their businesses, or they can be able to come up with small businesses, and maybe they can pay back, okay, so but with small interest and so on. So you find out that organizations can try to come in, like for example, the good one is like what is happening right now with the crisis of COVID-19, whereby you find that for example, they have created a fund for, is it for just to help the less fortunate in the community? Okay. And they have tried to use, maybe they are trying to tell maybe the companies, especially what Citizen is doing. I think everyone has already seen it, but even they just come publicly and they tell you this company contributed this amount of money, and maybe they just choose one bank. Of course, they chose Barclays. Of course, right now it is called ABSA. So they choose this company, and of course they try marketing it, of course, by them telling you to be able to even to deposit money into that account. Of course, is through marketing, and of course maybe for them even to contribute money into that fund. Okay, they have already thought through, okay, if we are going to make sure that we are contributing money into this fund, also we are getting the marketing, okay, the media is going to market us in return. And that's why you always find maybe there is maybe Kalonzo Musyoka Foundation has contributed this amount of money, maybe a certain company has contributed this amount of money, and at the end of the day they're also getting the marketing that they require. Free marketing, but the free marketing comes with also you contributing to the fund. So Miranda, you're also saying, what about the African Magic Viewers Choice Awards event organized by DSTV and GoTV company? I'm not really versed with it, but also I think their main aim, of course, it is to be able to create these publications, for them to be able also to market themselves, and also to be able to attract the right publics, okay, for the people who are going to be able to enjoy these events, okay. So you can come up with a lot of examples. It's just for you to be able to see how there is a relationship between the two. Doreen, you have something to say? Doreen?
Yes?
Yes, any point that you wanted to add?
No?
Mm-hmm. So actually also, when you're talking about also, let's just pick one, financial public relation. Financial public relation, basically this one is more about stocks and how to invest and so on. So basically an organization can also be able to use PR in the right way to be able to ensure that people try to, to get the correct information about the stock exchange, about, I don't know how many people buy bonds and buy stocks. Do you do that? Huh? Anyone who has participated in this one? And you even if you get to you even choose maybe a company to buy these stocks from. Anyone who has participated in buying this one? Do you even have financial securities? So it is very important to be able to know, even if actually you are going to make a right decision also on what the stocks to buy, and also where to invest your money, and the trustees that you're going to be able to to get, then definitely public relation also plays a critical role. Okay, they'll always want to ensure that they make the publics even like their own company, or for them to be able to make the right decisions where to invest in, of course. And that's why you will always notice that people have shares in all these companies. Like, for example, the KQ, whereby you find that Chris Kirubi actually had a lot of shares. Okay, so whenever he pulled out, then actually there was a big actually financial drawback. Okay, I don't know how much you follow up the financial aspect, but also there's a way that PR also plays a critical role, and they will always attract the right people to be able to want to invest into their companies. So I think I've seen an example there, Joy. You're talking about Coke Studio Africa. I think that one is included in the special events. I think maybe you can talk about which one haven't we talked about? Let me see. So, and also when you're talking about the corporate image, of course, the corporate image is whereby you, is how you view the product and the services of that company, and your employees' impression, and the organization's location and the building and so on, for you to be able even to market the corporate aspect. And I think Safaricom is doing well with that. That's why even you see that even the product that they're coming up with, like for example, even they have Okoa Jahazi, and they even have which kind of even products, like for example, they make sure they have even bonuses. Do you have talk time bonuses? They give even the talk time bonuses just to be able to create their corporate image to look good. Even in terms of, yes, Fuliza, you see that they come up with good products for you to be able to love them and be able to want to sorry about that. So you find that Fuliza people, want to be associated with Safaricom, and they even want to become their loyal customers because maybe of the Fuliza, and maybe you get that, for example, even their employees. Okay, Safaricom treats well their employees. I don't know if we have anyone here whose relative, family member works in, or friends work in Safaricom. Trust me, the employees are treated so well. Okay, so they will always make sure even the employees are treated so well. So when the employees go out there, they will always be like, Safaricom is, the real company. Okay, so you notice that for them to create this corporate image, PR has to go a long way. They will always want to make sure that is either the products which is going to be associated with their corporate name, or maybe the way they are going to treat their employees, which is going to be related to the corporate name and so on. So, and that goes along with corporate advertising, which they make sure that at least they do much advertising, okay, for them to be able to be known. And of course, Safaricom has won to have monopoly of the market share. So you find that everywhere you go, you will always see a Safaricom shop. You'll always see an M-Pesa. You'll always see, T-shirts, people wearing even M-Pesa T-shirts and Safaricom T-shirts. And they have actually, used each and every channel to be able to advertise themselves. And people, whenever you hear about Safaricom, you always relate it to something. Others relate it to M-Pesa, others relate it to, faster network, others relate it. So it depends, okay? So I think we can wind up on that, unless there is any question. I think we have covered, more than 1 hour. Okay. So unless there's any question, I want to wind up.
You are now unmuted.
Yes, madam, can you try to expound more about crisis management?
Okay, crisis management. Who has asked that question? Who has asked that? Is it Joyce? Joyce, when we are talking about the crisis management, I said that crisis management is more of like what the COVID-19. I think I used the COVID-19, being able to explain it further, whereby you find that even if it is a ministry, which is, of course, this ministry is able to make sure that they try to send the right message to the people. Okay, so you find that maybe the COVID-19, of course, it has attracted a lot of fear among people, and of course, it has caused job losses, and people are really worried about how the economy is being run. Okay, so they are tasked with that responsibility, not only the ministry but also the government. So they will always use the right information through PR. Okay, for you to be able to reassure people that, you know, things are in control. That is actually the crisis management, where you are able to use PR to be able to subsidize the crisis. Okay, people feel like for example, right now when we are being faced with this COVID-19, you realize that people are a bit more calm. Okay, they know that, okay, I can be able to go here and get tested, and I can be able to know my status, and maybe I can get help from here, or maybe they have already provided communication channels. If you feel this way, then you can be able to get help and so on. So they have used PR the right way to be able to reduce the crisis that is happening. Are we together? I don't know if I've answered you. Joyce? Joyce, have you gotten me?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Any other? Any other? I think I can address the one that Joy. Is it Joy? Jacqueline, the one you're talking about public PR. I haven't talked about political. Oh, okay. Political public relation, of course. I talked about, you know, like about politician. Actually, when you talk about political PR, is basically the politicians. Of course, the politicians are people who always find themselves in scandals each and every day. Okay, whatever they are going to do, whatever they are going to say, they are always on the limelight. Okay, whatever actually tasks they are given, especially if it is the MPs or the senators or the governors, they are tasked with responsibilities for them to be able to achieve at the end of the day. We voted for them and we want action. And if they are not able to, you know, to provide for us, then of course they will not get a positive image from us. Of course, our reaction is going to be different. Just the same way when you think about your area MP and you're like, what? This person, I voted for them, but still, there is a way that they are not giving us our expectation. But at the end of the day, okay, at the end of the day, Victor, mute your mic. So at the end of the day, after the 5-year term has ended, you will always find them back at the ballot box. And you, the same person who voted for them and the same person who is complaining within maybe the duration of 2 or 3 years there, you're going to go back and vote for them. Okay? Number one is either they manipulated you with the money. Okay, they gave you the money. Is either they gave you, maybe for example, scholarship. Okay, you found yourself, you are in trouble and you went into their offices and they gave you scholarship, or they gave you, how do we call it, the CDF, this one that we normally pay our school fees with. Okay, they will finance you. Maybe you have been evacuated from your place, they will assist you. Okay, so the bursary, yes, they will assist you with these bursaries, okay, as an individual person, or they will help an immediate person in your family, and you will feel like, oh my goodness, this is a very good person, okay. So they will use PR, okay. Personally, most of them, they use PR almost at the end of their terms. Like, for example, just expect a lot of PR, maybe let's say this is 2020, around 2021. These people are going to come back and they will use a lot of PR. They will tell us the right things. Actually, they tell us what we want to hear, okay. They have already manipulated us, okay. They will always tell us what we want to hear. So by the use of PR, they will be able to even retain their seats, okay. So it depends, and that's why people are asking, okay, I really don't want to enter into politics so much, because everyone is entitled to their own opinions. But when you're talking about the, like, for example, the deputy president, you'll always find that the deputy president has really kept quiet about all these things that are happening, okay. And when he's going to come back, you expect surprises, of course. Yeah, like Ken was mentioning, why is the public, the deputy president always finds himself on the wrong side, okay. It is like all the systems of the government has rejected him. Everyone is against him. You even wonder why all this hatred. At the end of the day, it is politics, Ken, and the rest, okay. It is just politics. They always play themselves, and these enemies, the enemy friends at this time, they will always be the best friends at the end of the day, okay. So it is all about public. Some people, it's all about PR. Some people, some politicians are going to badmouth others just to make sure that their publication, their popularity goes down. Victor, you're creating a bit of confusion. Mute the mic, Victor.
Yes.
So yes, I wanted you to mute your mic. So you'll find that when you're talking about the political PR, is whereby these politicians, people will badmouth each and every politician just to bring their name, their popularity down. But at the end of the day, if you have good PR people, maybe PR people are the ones who are advising perhaps they are the ones who are advising the deputy president to go, low, okay? He hasn't spoken, and nobody knows what he's thinking about. Nobody knows what he's going to come up with. So the PR people are the ones who are assisting him just to make the right decisions, not to come up and create a whole confusion and so on. So people should even get worried when someone, I think, goes low, because whenever they come up, you'll never know what they have prepared for you. So I think the politicians always work with the PR people, okay? You cannot do anything. Sometimes some comments from people can really annoy you, and you will get yourself, you have gone out of your temper, just like the way Kidero and that lady, the former women rep, Kidero was anchored and actually found himself even slapping Shebesh. And you found out, it could even create a bad image, like he's a violent man and so on. So if you do not get the right PR people, then your political dominance can be able even to go down, okay? So I think, Jacqueline, I've answered your question about, political PR and so on. So remember, PR and politicians, they will have to employ these people, either they like it or not, just because of their political profession. Yeah. So I think we can wind up there, unless there's any question. Jacqueline, you are typing. I don't know if you have any mention, but you can be able to just. Okay, okay, that means that it is well explained. It's fine. So I think we can wind up on that. Work on the assignment. I'm going to unlock it for you.